Ой, у лузі червона калина похилилася.
Okay, Friday, August 25th. So I got a few new GoPro accessories here. I just, you know, we're gonna go for a walk through the woods today. I guess I'll talk to you a little bit about the GoPro accessories. Now we got some weed whacker action going on here. So, but I want to just show you the area behind our apartment complex. So what we want to talk about today is it's a lot of noise here. So the GoPro, I'm on the 4K 24 setting. This will be like another endurance test to see if we can do 30 minutes today or not. But yeah, this is where I walk a lot near my apartment. You can see they have a new construction project. I don't think it's an apartment building. It could even be a hospital. I'm not sure, but it doesn't look like apartments the way that this is being put together. It could be offices, unless the apartments only have balconies on the top. I'm not sure. But the access to that building is pretty tough. You know, I looked at the road to that building. The builder must have gotten a good deal, and maybe there's just that much demand for housing that people would buy apartments there. But it'll probably take another 5 years before it's all finished and ready to move in. You know, the way things are going here. But yeah, so in the news lately, we saw that I guess Prigozhin was shot down. I was very skeptical. You know, I wanted to see a body, but apparently, I don't know, it's confirmed according to it's by standards acceptable to the West. Because the video that showed the plane getting shot down, it's like they knew it was going to happen. I mean, you know, for you to catch a video of an airplane getting shot down in real time by coincidence, I don't know. Those things are moving like 500 miles an hour. The rocket's moving, you know, supersonic. I mean, these things happen in like split seconds. It's not like in the movies where it's all in slow-mo. So it was like the guy was standing there. The guy who was filming was just standing there, and he just somehow was lined up for the perfect shot, and everything. Yeah, walk on this trail. You can see a lot. I'm not the only one walking around back here. So yeah, he was lined up for the perfect shot. Oh, I just wanted to take a detour here. So this is like, yeah, there's like a local group of alcoholics that hang out here. They don't bother you. Like I was saying, in Ukraine, personal safety in Lviv has really never been an issue. Like in America, or even in some places in you know, Sweden, you know, you have to worry a little bit at night, you know, about your personal safety. But here, no. Let me just make sure. Yep, everything is clipped. I'm still getting used to this new audio setup using the Røde Go II and all this wireless. So we'll see how the sound turns out and everything. I put it to a -9 decibel. Last time I was at -21, but since I have this lavalier, you don't have to compensate so much. But yeah, let's go back here. So I've shown you this on my phone videos, this walk, but it's just so much better on the GoPro. And then yeah, this is the way to the market. But I'm gonna maybe get this DJI 2 pocket cam and do a hidden camera video, because when you walk through the marketplace here with a GoPro, people shit themselves, you know. So yeah, so this is not possible in Europe or America to take a walk along the tracks. And these tracks are live. There is a train that runs here a couple times a day. It's just back and forth between two factories. Although I've seen a train with a lot more cars. Usually it's just a few cars, and I'm suspecting they're shuttling stuff from like the you know, one factory to another, you know, back and forth. But well, I don't know. So yeah, back to this Prigozhin. So his plane was shot down, And I wasn't a believer. It just, why would a guy who just had a coup attempt go to Moscow and then get on a plane and go to St. Petersburg? I guess he's that stupid to believe that Putin would have forgiven him and hold up to his agreements. I mean, that's why we're in this war. That's why we're in a lot of wars. People believe in agreements and believe in stuff. You know, a lot of times the agreements are just a stall tactic, but Putin got them. I don't know. I mean, on the surface, it's a good thing, but you know, maybe we lost something here. We had someone that could have gotten behind to create insurrection in Russia. You know, he had a following. He was definitely a capable leader in all of this. He has all this organizational ability. He has money. Maybe that was someone the CIA could have propped up a little bit to knock out Putin, and we could have knocked him out. But I guess Putin just knocked him out. So it's like what I predicted. I think this mutiny was didn't really have any strategic effect on the war. I mean, Putin has now become more paranoid. He has become much more now careful, and a lot of people are disappearing in Russia, and I think it's just made his grip on the power even stronger, unfortunately. So, and also I want to talk about that. Ukraine is getting some tactical wins on the battlefield, but now if you look at the election polls in America, especially, like I told people, I use sports betting. Now here I'm getting back to the other day we had a video with this Globus project. So this is the other side of it. You can see the other side of these buildings and everything. In the Republican debate, it was like there's Trump, and then there's all these people, I guess, running to be his vice president if he stays out of jail. And they all have a pretty strong anti-Ukrainian agenda. And they're growing, they're rising. I mean, right now in the sports betting, both Biden and Trump are at plus 175 in the England betting halls, in the UK betting sites. They have the same odds. And before, Biden was like clearly out in front, so he's really gone down in the polls. I don't know if that's specifically to Ukraine, or it's the economy, or it's the woke. I mean, I think the woke thing has got people more upset than anything else, you know. So I think that's probably what's swinging people. I mean, I think the people who are on the left, like myself, moderate left, you know, I would say I'm more of a moderate, you know, like right down the center. There are some things I'm really conservative about, like abortion and guns, you know, and respecting the flag. You know, I don't believe in gun control. I believe like guns are like farts. Now that they're out there, you know, there's nothing you can do to bring them back in. So we have to work on mental health. And that's where I'm a liberal. We need to really take out some big taxes on the wealthy, the people who've profited from all this chaos in America, and who've gotten generous government subsidies and generous tax breaks, and have been benefited from this upside down system, you know, where you steal from the poor and give to the rich. It's time for them to pay up. You know, it's time for them to you know, put something back into society so we can maintain the balance. You know, we got to have the health care, we've got to have free daycare, you know, we got to have like Scandinavian style maternity leave. I believe in that too, you know. So I believe in a strong state, you know, as well, you know, that the state can support people, you know, but it has to be done in an efficient way. You know, we have all this IT technology, and in Norway they do it efficiently. In Norway, the state manages the services very, very efficiently. I have friends working in state jobs as IT people, and it's not some place where they can hide. I mean, all their work is on a Jira board. They get grilled every day. They have like really, you know, strong project managers, especially if you're a contractor. they're really eating your head. So yeah, it's yeah, now the sun is in the wrong place as usual. So yeah, I think I don't know, the Democrats, they I don't know what's going on with them, but this thing in Hawaii, I'm a bit upset about that. And I mean, I'm living in Ukraine and everything, and I'm all for Ukraine, but it does look bad. You know, Joe Biden visits, you know, Kiev and all of this stuff, and it took him, and you know, he's always you know, sending money to Ukraine and backing Ukraine, but for Hawaii, it was like an afterthought, you know, with the fires in Hawaii. And the Ukrainians should be getting on Joe Biden, like, go out there and take care of your people, take care of your border, you know, defend your border like you defend ours. Ukrainians should be getting on the Democrat Party, because we need the Democrats to win. And the only way the Democrats are going to win is they have to come a little bit more to the center. Not a little bit more, probably a lot more. I mean, we can't have this whole thing with the transvestites, and, you know, this has just gone overboard. They were never, it was never so bad, you know, like they make it out to seem like America's putting them in gulags like North Korea does, or, you know, allows open discrimination like in Russia. It never was that bad, you know, for them. It's just, and now there's this thing called the oppression of the minority. So this is like a 1% minority in the country, and they're dictating to 99%. It's just going to create a backlash. We're seeing that the Republican numbers are growing. It's like people who normally wouldn't consider the Republicans as an option are doing so now. So yeah, here we are back at the Globus. You know, I also bought a new selfie stick, one that positions the camera better, and it has like a telescoping option. I'll probably try to show that off in a walkthrough in the center. This is kind of like a warm-up video before I go down to the Lviv city center and do a walkthrough on Sunday night. Last Sunday I did this awesome walkthrough, but the sound was not set up right, and the camera was recording instead of the lavalier mic, instead of this microphone here. And so I lost sound every time I turned the camera around. So yeah, you can see everyone is working hard now, but it's not enough. I don't think it's enough to get this thing finished on time. There should be like 100 guys going at it right now to get all this done. So yeah, we'll go in another direction in the woods here. We'll go in another. This is really going to be a nice building here. This is really going to be a nice building when they finish it, if they ever finish it, you know. Yeah, this is really a lot of hard work here, you know, a lot of, so yeah, so that's my views on, I guess my mind right now is more, is this camera working right? I'm not confident in the equipment yet, you know, with this audio setup and everything, to make sure that the audio is set right. So, but we'll see. You know, we'll post this video as it is, and I'll put all the settings into the comments that I had, and then you'll understand if this was the right settings for the video. I actually went out and bought GoPro stock, you know, because it's like down 96%. It's like way down. It's like $4 a share, under $4. And this used to be like a $40 stock, you know. So the brand is good, you know. I think Motley Fool, the investing site, wrote an article about why it might be good to pick it up. And this is not investment advice, this is just my opinion, you know, that they can turn it around on software. Like I said, if they can adapt AI, put in some AI into this software so I don't have to screw around with manual settings, I would pay for that. I would pay $50 easily for that. And they could probably have different prices for different regions or different tiers. and what have you. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, it's working. The audio looks like it's working. I've got it extended at an arm's reach. You can see I'm at an arm's reach now, and I can extend this selfie stick here. Yeah, I can go ahead and let's give that a try. Let's see. The screw is on pretty tight. That's another thing they could do, is just make it easier to, it's a lot of mechanical fiddling with these things. They could have a GoPro for like these people who work for BBC and CNN, and then they could have a GoPro for people like me who just want to mess around all the time. You know, so yeah, here, yeah, there we go. But now it's just like in selfie mode, and then I have to take the camera and go like this. Yeah, handle it a bit differently. So yeah, we'll go down. Yeah, the other day we went down this way. We went down this way and walked all the way through here onto the back of those buildings. And then today we'll go down this way here. I'll just bring this stick back. Yeah. So now we're walking through. This is another way into the woods by where I live. And like I said, in the summers it's really beautiful here. You know, it's like living in Minnesota or something, or Kansas. You know, there's a lot of nice nature nearby. You can see here, it's kind of like the apocalypse again, you know. Yeah. You see a lot of these, I don't know, the light. Yeah, it needs time to adjust. There we go. Now you can see it. It's just, they could improve the, you know, they're coming out with a GoPro 12. Really what they need to do is come out with software. I'm going to write an open job application to the GoPro company to be like a product owner for them. You know, they need to forget about the cameras for a while. They can just sell add-ons or whatever. And they need to start working on the software. The software would be far more profitable working on the cloud. And it's not even available in Ukraine. You know, the upgraded service, they're really missing out a lot. There's like 38 million people here. If they just added Ukraine, and the GoPro online people told me the sales are pretty brisk. You know, they are selling cameras here. There's foreigners, there's journalists here. So they must be selling at least like 100,000 units a year here. And then if you have the software and the add-ons, I mean, that's just pure profit. You know, and that would show up real quickly on a quarterly report and quarterly numbers and make the stock go up. So I don't know what they're thinking. Again, we're drowned out with the light. Yeah, I have to, yeah, see, that's the first thing I would do with the software, is make sure that it automatically light balances or something. So, yeah, I usually write a script. I've been writing a script to something to talk about, because my improv skills, it's just been, life has been really stressful. I got this new job with a healthcare information company in America. It's like a IT company that specializes in healthcare marketing. And oh man, it's it's a hard job. They told me I'd be a project manager. I turned out to be a program manager. There's like 10 sub-projects. There's a vendor in India. You know, they work in they don't even work waterfall. It's like very much like everyone is depending on one person. And there definitely doesn't have this agile thing of psychological safety. They're very scared to make mistakes. And I mean, innovation business, if you're working in an innovation job, you have to be prepared to do things wrong and make a lot of mistakes. And that has to be, you know, employers and managers have to be able to live with that. But they are so terrified of the boss and so terrified of making a mistake. And then we have these endless meetings where they're asking every little question, like, should the button be red? Should the button be blue? Should it be 30 pixels over or 32 pixels over? And I'm like always screaming, just show us something. Just start somewhere, and then we can, you know, go back and iterate through it, work in an iteration way till we get where we want. But they won't have it. You know, and I finally met with the director, the whole, I guess what they call the project sponsor or the key stakeholder or everything like this, and told him what's going on, and he agreed to, reduce the scope a bit and give me more decision makers, because I said these guys won't decide anything by themselves. They're definitely capable. I can tell you, technically they're smart. This stuff about like Indian outsourcing people are not smart, that's just not true. That's just rivals, in Eastern Europe or South America trying to sell their goods. They definitely are smart, but what they lack is this psychological safety to make the decisions on their own. They can definitely code. If you give them a specification, they can code it, but what they're lacking is this encouragement to take some chances and try a few things themselves, and this business understanding of like what the customer wants. They're very, very focused on single task, versus like having the big picture. My business partner, Steve, he understands the big picture as well as the minute details. I'm wondering, should we go down this trail here? I'm wondering how this is going to look in the 4K. We're in the 4K mode here, so I'm just wondering like how this will look. There's some weird thing on the display at the top, some indicator there. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe I need another GoPro to make a film of me GoProing, but yeah. Oh, it's really quiet here. It's really nice here in the woods. This is a really, really nice place to go for a walk. Oh, there's somebody else making photos. I'm not the only one with this idea. Oh, a dog. So, gotta be careful of ticks. You can get Lyme disease. Yeah, so make sure not to get that can really be devastating to have Lyme disease. That can mess up your life. I think it takes a couple years to get over it too. So yeah. Yeah, so this is the woods. Again, this would be like a paintball paradise here, I think. This is a classic. It goes down to a main road. I'll see if I can get us down there. This is like a real park and everything, official park in Lviv. I don't know what it's called. I'll look it up and put it in the comments what this park is called and everything if you want to come here and visit, or maybe I should keep it a big secret. I should be very secretive about my hideouts here in Lviv. But yeah, so another discussion we were having about the war is like the Russians, by building all the trenches, putting the tank traps, building the minefields in East Ukraine and the 4 provinces, the Crimea and the Donbass, and I think this Kherson region, which is the land bridge. They've kind of locked themselves in, right? These defenses not only keep the Ukrainians out, but they also stop the Russians from advancing. So in a way they've kind of barricaded, because they have to cross those minefields, they have to cross those trenches just from the back. So, and there's some bottlenecks, probably only a few places where they can cross through, and the Ukrainians have heavily guarded it on their side as well as the Russians on their side. So what I was explaining to friends, it's like I don't think we're seeing any more advancement. There might be a fight for Kharkiv. I'm mostly worried about Kharkiv, but they were talking about Odessa. But I think Odessa is a fortress like Kiev. Nobody's gonna touch Odessa. The mayor of Odessa is like he packs a gun. He's like some dude from Ukrainian Texas or something. He's like an ex-gangster or something, from what I understand, and he packs a gun and everything, and he's like the right kind of person to be a politician, a guy who who's less than perfect and decided he wanted to do something for his country. I hope. I mean, maybe he's just grafting and doing like what everyone else does, but America started that way too. America was started by less than perfect people. So, good morning. Yeah, so I think we're getting to a point where everything is becoming a stalemate. You know, they've kind of, by setting up all the dragon teeth and trenches and, you know, minefields, they can't extend. They don't have the supply lines, and they don't have this. Russians are still struggling with coordinated attacks, you know, between air assets, ground assets. I mean, this was something the Germans figured out, the Blitzkrieg, back in the World War II time. They're still struggling with it, you know. So, that's. So I think we're reaching something. As I was discussing earlier, the politics in America, are changing. Maybe the Western countries have to, you know, they're getting the F-16s, but it's not enough. You know, like I say, it's tactical. It's not strategic. It's going to help in a tactical level. They'll be able to take back a few cities or everything, but will it be enough to like drive the Russians out? They would need like hundreds of them, you know, and then they would need the maintenance facilities, but that could be done in Poland, and they can just keep hopping back and forth over the border. I mean, that's not really so hard. Yeah, you can see we're on a paved trail here, you know, and everything. This is one of the lesser known parks in Lviv, and it's always very quiet. Very few people know about this park, especially tourists. You know, there's mostly local people whose apartments are nearby, like myself, that are here. I think it's like the limited war. That's in the U.S. Playbook, and I think it's just unwritten. But that's what's going on here, is that we're heading into a limited war, and so I think they're going to get like 40, 50 F-16s, even if they got 100. You know, and I think a squadron is like 5 planes, you know, and then they're down, I don't know, half the time for maintenance and everything. So at least they can tie up the Russians, you know, in the air. They can stop a lot of the incoming missiles, you know, and it'll just help better hold the line where it is. I mean, it might get back, like I say, a few villages and a few, you know, defend Kharkiv. I think the big concern, like I was saying earlier, is Kharkiv is a massive concern. You can see it gets very dark in the woods here. You know, it's like, this is like Hansel and Gretel stuff here, you know? Yeah, this is really, really amazing. You know, so far we haven't had any overheating on the camera. So, you know, we haven't had any camera overheating, so I think these settings, you know, might be good. You know, 24 frames per minute is television quality. I think 30 is the movies, you know, 30 frames per minute where they can, so maybe I'll try next run is to go up to 30 frames per minute. And I have the bit rate set high. The bit rate is set to high. So, yeah. So yeah, I think that's my view of the war, you know, that we're getting to some, and they will never say it's over. And I think even in this situation, they may not even say it's a ceasefire. It might just get to this like a grind, I'd hate to call it this, but low intensity conflict, like the war that's going on but gets no news coverage. You know, and I think it might have to go there, you know, as we get into an election in the U.S. I mean, and I asked like this Joe Lindsay and this St. Javelin guy, is all your memes and all your podcasting, is it helping or hurting us? Or what message are you sending? Is it just so, I mean, even the Ukrainians were like saying, you know, I can have a better discussion with Ukrainians about the war than with other Americans or other expats here. The other expats are like really zealous, you know, like if you talk against or you say, is this really working or something, they get crazy. But the Ukrainians are like, yeah, it's looking like a Korea. It's looking like North-South Korea, and they understand the situation in America, that they're even shocked, like, what Joe Biden is doing, and that how that can hurt Ukraine. We need Biden to win, and if Biden's going to win, he needs to be a little bit more American. He needs to act like an American a little bit more. Like, the border thing is something that resonates with people, and he could use it instead of keeping the Mexicans out. He could be like saying it ensures the fairness of immigration. He could spin it differently, that everyone has to queue up and wait and get documents, and he could talk about the exploitation of immigrants by immigrants. So when people come illegally to America, they're often exploited. They don't have social security number. They are afraid to call the police. They don't get paid properly. And he could talk about this. He could talk about these things, like that the wall will ensure fairness. The wall will ensure that everyone goes through a democratic process. Because, down in these South American, Spanish cultures, this Latino culture, everything is about screaming loud and making drama to get ahead of the line. They're not like people from Norway or Sweden or Germany or, northern part of the U.S. or even the U.S. in general is all pretty same now, where people stand in line, take turns, queue up, follow procedures. Everything is put down on a website and you follow the procedure. No, it's all about like screaming and drama and, at work, there's all this, like, when I lived in Brazil, it's like, there's a lot of chauvinism in the office and everything, and for them it's just normal. It's just it's par for the course. He could talk about this, that there is definitely a cultural divide. We have to bring them into the society in a way we can manage. We definitely need immigration in America. America needs to grow to 500 million people. We're going to be the economy is already going to wartime. We definitely need like people who can work in factories. The sun is completely wrong. Yeah, I should be walking the other direction. Now I'm in the shadows. Yeah, that's the biggest challenge with the GoPro, is you gotta come in the twilight hours, like either in the morning or in the evening when the sun is still down at the horizon. So yeah. Biden has to get it together. Republican arguments. I mean, I'm modern. I'm like, I voted both sides. Sometimes I voted Democrat, sometimes I voted Republican, and I see things as they are. The Republicans have some strong arguments. They have, and I can understand why they're picking up. You can see a nice duck pond here. Yeah, this is, if you walk around enough in the woods in Ukraine, you just find a lot of different stuff. It's like so surreal here. I mean, I thought I would miss movies in America, but whenever I feel like watching a movie, I just go out for a walk and in a direction I hadn't gone before, and you just see stuff you haven't seen before. Now, I've seen this before, but I just didn't remember it. I've been back here before. You can see it still needs a lot of care and a lot of maintenance. That's a problem here, is like misallocation of resources. That's all I got. I think we're going on 35 minutes. We're doing good. No, the camera is not hot. Yeah, I don't feel overheating. So now I have to figure out how to get home. I think I just keep following this trail, but it might take me into the city center, so I'll get a bigger walk than I was planning. I'll get the sun totally. Maybe I can just backtrack. I kind of want to be an explorer today. So, I don't know. You people, if you've watched the video this long and stuff, tell this Joe Biden, like, back off the woke stuff, take care of the border, and we can get 4 more years. Otherwise, otherwise we don't know what the hell's going to happen. You know, and I mean, I have to admit, you know, Trump's, some of what Trump says, you know, like about domestic policy, domestic energy policy, you know, being a nuclear engineer, you know, and a project manager, and, you know, being someone who's rational and educated. It's definitely, that's something the Democrats should just steal that. And then that way it neutralizes the Republicans, right? I mean, that's a good common sense argument. There don't need to be opposite for the sake of being opposite. You know, that's what they are doing. They're just being opposite for the sake of being opposite. If the Republicans have a good idea, family values, take it. And they should be, now gun control will always be a Democrat thing. Their idea is to control the guns, but the Republicans maybe could do better and maybe fight it on the mental health, that we should put money into mental health education and de-stress the society, get the 40-hour work week back, and make it so that people aren't so wigged out and stressed out, and the opioids and, you know, all these things that are breaking the family, all these stresses that cause all this people to lose their shit. You know, the gun is just a tool. What's really the problem is the mental health. That's my view. You know, the gun is just a tool. You know, so, you know, you have these kids, you know, doing all this stuff at school. It's because something is going on at home. Why is something going on at home? Usually it's because the parents can't make the ends meet, or there's some substance abuse problem. That's also because of a money problem. You know, so yeah, here we are back in the shadows again. Let's see if this road will take us out of the woods. Yeah, it's really dark in the woods here. It's like, this is like where you should hide, in my view, if there's an air raid. Not under a building. The building can fall down on your head, but nobody's aiming for the woods. You know, there's nothing of value here. So this is like when the air raids first started. This is where I used to come, hide in the woods and stuff, take the wife and hide out here until the alarms were over. You know, and then watch the skies, you know. You know, versus hiding in a, you know, the new buildings in Ukraine are made out of cake and bread. So I'm not very confident in hiding inside those. Now the Soviet buildings, those are over-engineered. Those are really, yeah, you can see there's some ruins here in the woods, but they're not like Roman age. These are probably like 50, 60 years old, built in the Soviet times and abandoned. So, yeah, let's see, we're going on 40 minutes. Yeah, I would just keep going until this thing shuts off, maybe, I don't know. Let's see if we can stretch it to a 40-minute shoot. Yeah, it's so dark in the woods, I have to take off my sunglasses. I'll go ahead and give you, a view here. I'm just wondering if this trail, next thing you know, they'll be looking for me, or I'll do a wrong turn like in that movie. Wrong turn, and some Tennessee hillbillies will, you know, eat me or something. I don't know, the woods are not scary, the dark is not scary, the movies make it all scary. It's actually quite calm and peaceful. And I find it often pretty hard to get lost in the woods myself. I don't know, maybe because I grew up young around woods and stuff and always have this sense of direction or whatever. But I was always good in this land nav compass map and, you know, finding my way, you know, could be like having GPS in the head or something, I don't know. Now, I don't know where I am because I haven't been here before, but I'm thinking this will cut back over to where we were, get us on a, yeah, on the main trail. Now, the other day I met some neighbors from Iraq, and they have a baby just born 2 weeks ago and a son, and they were living in Kharkiv, and then they immigrated to Belgium in the war as refugees, but then they came back to Ukraine saying that they didn't like Belgium and they decided to come back. And they're Iraqi, speaking Arabic at home, and Russian is their second language because they lived in East Ukraine. And despite all that hardship, they came back. Now this is cool. I wonder how well this shows up on the GoPro. Yeah, there's some ruins out here and everything. So, yeah, we'll just follow this guy with the dog. He seems to know where he's going. But, yeah, so we made friends with them. And they have all this insider knowledge how to take care of the baby who just born, fresh knowledge we're trying to extract. You know, I tell you that newborn, he was a sack of potatoes. He was heavy. They let me hold him. They let me hold him as a young boy. And they let me hold him. Oh my God, I almost broke my arm. You know, it was, I thought, you know, they were pretty light, but he was a sack of potatoes, as one would say. You know, and I guess they put on the weight quite fast. The babies will lose a little weight after being born, actually. For a day or two, the weight goes back down, and then they start putting back on, you know, from what I understand. And then, yeah, they're still adjusting. They got to be moved around a lot, because inside the womb, they're swimming around and having a good time, and then they come out into a still environment. You know, so they were saying when he's inside, he doesn't sleep when everything is still, but when he's outside and they're walking around and the wind is blowing and everything, then he sleeps. So, yeah. So you have to be active. You have to train. You have to train for parenthood, you know, just like training for a triathlon. You got to get yourself in shape, you know, and that will give you the edge, you know, with the sleepless nights and everything. That'll help with that. It's definitely not a panacea, but it definitely raises the threshold, raises your mental threshold. Fitness will, I wouldn't say compensate for lack of mental toughness, but actually fitness makes you more mentally tough because you start becoming self-disciplined and have a routine, push through pain. So yeah, it raises that threshold where you would call it quits, you know, or where your body would give out and can get you that extra 5 minutes you need. Okay, now I know where we are. We're right back on that wall where we were the other day. I think I made a video the other day into the woods, standing from over there. I was standing there looking back. So that's cool. Yeah, we have this tree. I hope my kids play here. You know, when I was 8 years old, we didn't have all this GPS tracking or cell phones. And I used to go out and play in the woods hours at a time. And I would just always find my way home. I guess kids do that. They do that. You just let them go and and they find their way back. You know, so, okay, we're going on 45 minutes. And battery is almost half done. So we're at 4K 25. Sorry, not 4K 24. I'm not sure. I guess Europe is 25 frames per minute, America is 24. It's like the hertz thing I fixed, the 50, 60 hertz setting. So, yeah. So, Yeah, what a hike. Time to get back home. Let's see. Hi. So, this is the woods. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. There's some apartment buildings back here. Let's see. Actually, this is a bit of a different place. I thought I was here, but this is different, maybe. Yeah, let's see. Punch through to the main road. This might be Zelena 111 project. Okay, there's a park here. Yeah. I don't know, I'm just right now trying to stress test this camera to do a stress test here. See how far we can go, you know. Yeah. So okay, so here's some habitation. We've popped out, I think, I'm trying to figure out where we are. I don't want to look at the phone. I don't want to cheat. I want to see if I can figure this out. Where I popped out. You know, maybe I popped out in Kiev or something, you know. But, yeah, this is cool. If the GoPro can run this long. I have the new Enduro battery, by the way. I have this new high performance battery because they said the battery is a big source of the overheating, you know. So yeah, it looks like we have a main road here. Yeah, that's Zelena. Yep. Yeah, so it's strange. It's like you just right outside the city center have all this woods. You know, it's like Lviv is like Oslo in that way. It's like really just a forest, you know, with some buildings. You know, it's not a true city with the skyscrapers, although Oslo is getting the skyscrapers now, but there's still a lot of woods there. But this is like that, you know. Yeah, now I know where we are at. Okay. Yeah, we're near Zelena 113. Yeah, and that was the 111 project on the other side. So, okay, that's all I got. You guys all take care, you know, and let's see where we are. Yeah, this is back to life. And back to, okay, so I will power off here. You know, we got 24% battery left. So, okay, all right, take care everyone. We'll see you, bye-bye.